Hey, my friends, this is The Art of Prepping. So I have a new part for the AR today, and it's a stock. It's a collapsible stock. And I'll get into that in just a moment. But I first want to just point out that there's a lot of different companies out there that sell parts for rifle builds, in particular for ARs. And I must say that all these companies are not equal in terms of their service. And I've been learning this firsthand over the last few weeks, placing orders. I have ordered from a number of locations. I don't know if I can just remember them all right off the top of my head, but I'll try to include most of them here today. When it comes to Brownells, they are the most impressive. It typically is within a few hours of placing the order, you're already not only just getting a confirmation email, but you're also getting an email saying, hey, we're putting this stuff in the box, and sometimes within a few hours, you'll even get a tracking number. And then a few hours later, it typically is picked up by the carrier, and it's already on the way to you. And so you could get sometimes your stuff within 2 to 3 days, and that's pretty impressive. And we're talking about 2 to 3 days from the time that you ordered the item. That's very good. I don't know if they could actually improve upon that. It's so impressive. So I am just like, yeah, Brownells, man, is the way to go. If you can find your part there and the part is not, a bad deal, which I've noticed that their prices are very good, especially if you have a good coupon. Typically, their prices are the best, or at least among the best that's out there. So definitely look at Brownells. It was a company that I never really paid much attention to before, but now it has my full attention. Another company that's very good is Palmetto State Armory. It is true that a lot of their stuff is always sold out, and some of their products take a little bit of time to ship out. In particular, their uppers can take maybe like 7 to 9 days, but you kind of know that ahead of time because it's kind of common knowledge when you do research about this company. But the parts outside of like completed uppers or lowers and things like that, or completed rifles, they typically ship out within a couple of days. And that's what I've noticed getting parts. It doesn't take but just a few days, and they ship it out, and it's all good. And so they're not the fastest shippers, but they're not the slowest by any means. The parts that I've received from Amazon, and so far I've only ordered one part for this AR build from Amazon, but there might be others in the future. You just never know. But at this particular point, the item that I ordered was actually out of stock. But the item came in stock quicker than they said, and it was shipped to me 2-day mail. It was like free priority mail. And I do not have any type of Amazon Prime membership, but they went ahead and gave me an upgraded shipping service, and that was really cool. So you know what? Amazon does a really good job, and they give you some pretty good service, so I have no problem with them. Now, the next two companies, I kind of have a problem. In fact, it's not just kind of, I really have a pretty extensive problem. And it's so sad because in the past, I haven't really had much of an issue with them. And I have had various orders over the years with these two companies. The first one is Optics Planet. Optics Planet is it's a pretty good sized company from what I can see. But you know what? Their customer service is really bad. It's just super poor. Today, I wanted to talk to them because I wanted to know what the status of my order, because they've never emailed me on anything since I placed the order. And so it's been 6 days. And I would say that within 6 days, you have enough time to at least send me some type of confirmation or a tracking number or something, right? And the items were all in stock. So the problem here is that I was just getting really curious, wondering if there was a glitch in the system, did my order actually go through, and so forth. The first time I called, I waited about 9.5 minutes, and I was just fed up, and so I hung up. The next time I called, I waited 15 minutes, and I couldn't get through. Now, in all fairness, they give you an option somewhere along the line there to leave a voice message, and you can tell them your phone number and your name, and they'll call you back, they say, promptly. I don't know if I believe the whole prompt part, but they say it's going to be prompt. So the third time I called, after I hung up, of course, the second time, around the 15 or so minute mark or something like that. I waited 21 minutes, and I made sure to write this down because I was watching the timer. 21 minutes on the dot, pretty much. This guy, which he sounded like he was worn out, and actually he kind of had like a slurred speech, almost as if he was, I don't want to say he's drunk, but it kind of almost sounded like that. It sounded like he might have been under the influence. Hopefully not. Maybe he was just sick because he was coughing. But he wasn't able to really pronounce like the items on my order. I mean, he was trying to confirm that I was who I was and that I ordered certain things, and he couldn't even pronounce certain things. I was just like, those are common words. But he had a problem. So maybe he was just sick and having a bad day. But I had to wait a long time to get this guy on the phone. And then he proceeded to tell me that I needed to wait another 18 days because one of the items that was supposed to be in stock wasn't in stock. So that kind of ticked me off. So Optics Planet, what's the deal, man? Like, what's up with that? That's pretty bad. So, yeah. So I can't really say that I would, recommend Optics Planet. Maybe you have better luck. Maybe you'll just be lucky and all your things are in stock, and and that's great. So let's go to this other company that I have even a bigger problem. I mean, a company that I probably should know better, but honestly, over like the last 7.5, 8 years that I've been doing business with them, I really haven't had a major problem. And typically, I place about one order a year with Bowtac Tactical. This time I wanted to get a few accessories for this AR build. They're not going to be actual parts that will be like making the rifle, but they're accessories. And I'll give you a couple examples. There's a Ranger plate for, a few of my magazines that I wanted. And there's a rifle sling that I wanted. And what's the other one? Oh, yeah, there was an active shooter bag, so that I can store my magazines and maybe some medical, supplies and a few other things, so I can keep with the rifle and kind of make it a kit. And I'll talk about that in the future. So there's just like 3 items, right? And it's not a big deal. It should be a real simple thing. All these items were said to be in stock, and not only just in stock, but they had like a bunch of them at the time of ordering in stock. I mean, they tell you how many's in stock. And there was like several hundred of each of these items, at least, that I remember. And so they were in stock. And, I'm very a patient person, to be honest with you. But I get no correspondence from these people. And 11 days later, that's right, 11 days later, I decided, and that was today, to start to figure out what's the problem. Because I can't really be that much more patient. I have limits like anyone else. So I start to send them emails and never got a response all day. And in between the emails, I also try to make phone calls. But of course, their phone service, even when you try every option, you get a couple of rings and then it goes to a voicemail. And they just say, hey, leave your order number and your name and your phone number or an email address, and we'll get back to you promptly or within a few hours, typically. And they weren't doing that. So I went to their website, and they have this chat feature that you can chat with an operator. But the operator was never there the whole day today. It's almost like the feature was like broken, or they just turned it off is probably what it is, because it really didn't even load properly at all. And so I'm thinking to myself, wow, you can't even get a hold of these people. What happens if I wanted to cancel my order? I couldn't even do it because I can't even contact anyone. And finally, though, this is more toward the end of the day now, definitely later evening at the time of making this voiceover here. And they just contacted me right before I decided to do the voiceover. And they said, hey, here's your tracking number, as if they just wanted to get rid of me and just tell me to stop bothering them. So we'll see if this is a real tracking number. There's a lot of people who say that they get tracking numbers from Bowtac Tactical, but it ends up that they never ship the item. And so we'll see if they're just playing games or not. And I hope that they really do have the items and they just, they're going to send them. They use FedEx, apparently. And so I really do hope that they actually send the products as they promised, and we can just get on with it. But I'm not going to be doing any more business with Bowtac Tactical, and I can't recommend them just because this experience is just really it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable that I can't even get a hold of someone and they don't really even return any messages, nothing. It's just really weird. I mean, why do I have to wait 11 days? And then on the 11th day, when I do make some noise, they just decide, oh, it's time to ship your stuff. I mean, how much longer would they have waited? I mean, would they have ever shipped it if I didn't make any noise? You see, this is the problem. But now let's get back to the part that I got today. And that's the Magpul MOE SL carbine stock. And this SL stands for, to my knowledge, slimline. And it is very slim. It's compact and it's very lightweight. This particular one here is a mil-spec size, because they have different size buffer tubes. Those in the ARs know this. They have a commercial size and a mil-spec size. So this is the mil-spec, and I have it in olive drab. So it's a very nice coloration. And so let's just go. I'm just going to read the information on the front of this box here, just to kind of give you an idea of this product. So it says it has an improved cheek weld with a sloped comb profile. So it's supposed to be a lot more comfortable if you have to put it to your cheek. And I can definitely say that it is more comfortable when I just put it to my cheek. Sometimes I have a beard, and in previous attempts to use various butt stocks, it actually will pinch the hair on my face, on my beard. So I don't like that. This actually there is no place really for it to pinch. So I like that a lot. The next part here, or feature, says reinforced polymer construction, and it does seem to be very sturdy. The next is snag-free design. It does seem like all of the edges or the angles on the ends are all beveled and rounded. It's just very nice. It says here, next is that it has a shielded ambidextrous release lever, which prevents snagging and accidental adjustments. And yeah, it really is concealed under the cheek weld area. So it kind of just tucks in and it kind of is nested in that space. And I like that. The whole ambidextrous release lever also is pretty unique. The next feature says it has a new anti-rattle feature, which mitigates a rattle and wobble without an additional lock or level. So this is really the reason, when I researched this, that I got this for, because it basically has almost what you would consider like leaf springs, if you know what those look like. They're just like these little pieces of metal that are bent out, and they keep like constant pressure, and they have it set up in this particular tube, in the buffer tube section here, that it pushes on the buffer tube on both sides, and so it keeps constant pressure, so there is no wobble, as it says here, and or rattling. So that's awesome. I just do not like any type of movement on the stock of my rifles. The next features here says uses a premium chrome silicone lock spring, which provides positive locking and long service life. Well, that's good. It has a durable rubber butt pad with angled toe, which offers an anti-slip surface and increases impact protection while allowing a quick no-snag shouldering. Sorry for the reading. I'm in a dark room, and I'm like, man, I need some... Here, actually, I'm going to get me a flashlight real quick. Okay, here we go. I can see a lot better. So, yeah, basically, the shouldering of this stock really is also another reason why that I like this, because if I have to wear body armor for whatever situation I'm in, this is going to be already set up for that, because in particular the part here when it talks about the toe, let me see if I can go back to that. Here it is. Angled toe, which offers an anti-slip surface. Yeah, I like that. That actually does help a lot, especially if you have extra layers on your chest area or in your shoulder area. So the next part here says integral ambidextrous push button QD swivel attachment point. And that's nice. If I ever want to do that, it's there. QD just stands for, at least to my knowledge, quick detach or something of that nature. And we also have here a 1.25-inch ambidextrous sling loops. There's actually two of them, one on the bottom, one on the top. That's what I'm going to probably end up using on mine, just because I want the most secure sling design possible. Nothing against the QD, snap in, snap out, stuff. That's nice. But for home defense, I want something that in terms of the actual sling, to be really secure on the rifle. And I don't want to be fighting someone, hand-to-hand combatives with my rifle on, and they're trying to take the rifle from me, and all they have to do is just hit that button to pop off the sling. And then they could have more control over the rifle. I don't want that at all. I want the rifle to be almost like part of me, and I want to literally have to lace in the loops in buckles and have the most secure sling possible. So I'm just going with the old traditional 2-point sling, and that was one of the products that I ordered from Bowtac Tactical if I ever get it. And lastly, it says here it's compatible with Magpul ASAP, ASAP QD, and other receiver mount sling attachments. So yeah, it's a very nice product. I like this. I have no regrets. I got a really great deal from Brownells, and I recommend this highly, and I will probably even recommend it more once I get it on the rifle and use it. But just handling this for the last 10-20 minutes, it's a win-win, and I do have other Magpul products. I just never got this one before, and I never got it in olive drab or anything in olive drab before. So now I have the handguard in olive drab for this build and this stock in olive drab. So you can kind of see where we're going. We're going with black, olive drab, and there's going to be a little bit of coyote brown brought in eventually. So stay tuned. And of course, we do have the actual charging handle that I just showed recently. And that actually, if you paid real close attention, I don't think I actually brought this up, but the actual charging element itself on the end there, that's actually in a gray. It's a darker gray, but it is going to contrast, especially when we get this all together. So just pay attention to that. And that should really contrast with the upper receiver, which is going to be in black, and then this olive drab stock. And you're going to see that there's going to be about 4 colors, at least 4 colors, or different contrasting elements here in this build. So that's going to be really cool to see all this come together. Thanks again for all the support and for all the ideas. I tell you what, you guys really helped me out so much. I really can't thank you enough. Putting together something that really is exciting and fun, there's really nothing that can match that, every day I wake up a little earlier than the next day, just hoping that the mail carrier gets here earlier as well, and dropping off little gifts, and it's almost like little presents, and so I can't wait to get the next few parts. And I do believe the next delivery is going to include the flash suppressor, the barrel, the delta ring, and I think possibly one or two parts, and we'll just see. Things always come up, and you don't want to get too excited because there has been disappointments in the past. But according to the tracking number, there's at least one delivery tomorrow, so we shall see. And if I have time, I'll try to make a video tomorrow. I'm a little bit busy tomorrow, but we'll see how it all plays out. I can typically find time to do at least a video a day if I have to, just because I really do enjoy it. It kind of allows me to get a little bit of extra energy out of the system so that I sleep better at night. Sometimes just talking, and doing a video is a little bit of a therapeutic thing that, for some of us at least. Some of us actually feel like that we're going to have a nervous breakdown trying to do a video because it's overwhelming for some of us, and it has been for me sometimes too. But nowadays, I just kind of go with it. Just go with the flow, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Just real quick though, before I forget, and I think I did show up an image on the screen here, but just to recap, this is a model number, or this is the model right here, MAG 347 ODG. I think the ODG just stands for olive drab green, something like that. And maybe I should just give you. Maybe this is also a part number, possibly. It's 190214. I'm not for sure if that's anything. And also there's a barcode number. I'll just read it to you. 873750002095. And once again, this is the MOE SL carbine stock and mil spec olive drab from Magpul. You guys take care. Catch you later.